Okay, so this is what we learned last time. Right? So Jacobi iteration, right? So where you find x1, x2, x3, x4 up to xn all together, all of them in parallel, right? By using the previously the components which are computed in the previous step, right? So by using x1 node, x2 node up to xn node, and you get x2 1 1 x2 1 up to xn1, and using x11 x21 up to xn1, you compute x21 x22 sorry x2 x12 x22 up to xn2, and then you continue like that, right? So that is how we computed iterations in Jacobi iteration, right? So iterates in Jacobi iteration. But then when we finish in the example, we see that after computing this xk plus 1, we can update it here, right? Update it here. And after computing x1 and x2, we can update here, right? So after computing each term, we can always update it whenever we require, right? So that updation part leads to an iteration called Gauss-Seidel iteration, right? So okay, so what we do is in the Jacobi iteration, right? If we update the immediately computed terms, right? So just within the iteration, all the immediately computed terms are updated, then that leads to a new scheme, right? It's a new iterative method. That method is called Gauss-Seidel iteration. So Gauss-Seidel iteration also very much similar to Jacobi. The only difference is you are updating the previously computed or immediately computed term. The Gauss-Seidel, so first term it has no problem because you do not have any immediately computed terms, right? So to compute x1, you don't have any immediately computed term, right? x2, xk, all of them are from the previous terms. But to compute x2, k plus 1, you can update here. You can update this with k plus 1. Similarly for k plus 3. So when you come to x n k plus 1, you know that all the terms you have computed just now. So you can update all of them, right? So that is how you update it. So here you can see that up to I minus 1, j running from 1 up to I minus 1, you can update the terms. And so that is the difference between Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel, right? So that is how we do that. And I already showed you the example, so I don't need to show another example again, right, at this moment, because in the last example, I already explained how to do Jacobi iteration and how to do Gauss-Seidel iteration as well. So you can work it on that example for few steps, and I ask you to verify how the solutions goes, right? So let's compare the two iterations now, right? Right, so let us compare the two iterations, Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel, right? So first comparison is so in place of writing Gauss-Seidel, I just write GS. So you know that that means Gauss-Seidel, huh? Right, so these are the main comparisons in terms of computation, right? So Jacobi, values from the previous steps are used only, right? But in Gauss-Seidel, you use the values within the step as well, right? So you compute x1 and use it immediately, right? Compute x1 and x2 and use them immediately. So because of this method, Jacobi iteration, all n equations, you can solve them parallelly, right? So when you are computing x1, you can compute x2, x3, x4, and x5, all of them at the same time. So if a computer is doing the work, it will compute all of them at the same time, right? So, but in Gauss Seidel, you cannot do that. Even a computer cannot do that because it has to compute x1 and then only it can compute x2. After that only it can compute x3. So equation has to be solved one after one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So at each step, any equation has to be solved separately. So n times it has to operate. But in Jacobi, it doesn't matter. It can operate all n equations at the same time. So you can see that in Gauss-Seidel, the computation time is going to take little longer, right? Because the computer has to solve equation one after one. So at each step, it will solve n equations again and again and again, one after one. But in Jacobi, it solves all n equations at the same time. So the time taken is going to be little extra in Gauss-Seidel at each step, right? Right? Gauss-Seidel iteration, the computation time is larger than Jacobi, right? Because of the mechanism, right? So we explained that in step 2. So that is the mechanism. But by the example I did earlier, you can notice that the convergence is faster, right? So in even though at each step the time taken is large, right? But the convergence is fast, right? So in this method, the convergence is fast, right? So that is the difference. Okay, so right. So these are the comparisons between Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel. Right. So now what we are going to do is so here we do it element wise, right? So we have taken summation of this xi and or summation of aij minus aij over aii times xj and so on, right? So now what we are going to do is we are going to look at it from a matrix point of view, right? So okay. And so we are going to observe these two iterations in matrix form, right? So now we look at the element form, right? So we can get the matrix form, right? So you know that, right? So if this is here, right, and B is equal to, right? So we write, Right, so you know that this is how we write, right? So you divide the diagonal terms, right, by each row by the diagonal term, right? A11, you divide by A11 on the first row, A22 on the second row, and so on, right? So this is what we write, right? So what we are going to do is to, from now on, right, let us assume that A will always be in this form, right? So let us assume that A is always in this form, right? So without loss of generality, okay? So because you know that you always make sure that you have non-zero diagonal term, and then you divide by the diagonal term and make ones on the diagonal, and then you take the diagonal part out, that is all one, and then you do all the things, right? So you can always do that for any matrix. So what we are going to do is to, after doing that, let us say that is our Ax equal to b, right? Even though given Ax equal to b is like this, we can always do up to this point without any problem, right? So we can interchange the rows, we can divide by the diagonal, we can make diagonal 1, and all those things we can do. So let us say we always have a system like this. So that is why we assume that A is always of this form, ones on the diagonal, and then others are separated as a strictly lower triangular and strictly upper triangular matrix. So you write A as I minus M. Right? So in that case, right? So I wrote similar kind of results in the beginning of the class as well. But there I take the diagonal term and then multiply by D inverse and do all those things, right? But later on, we observe that you can just divide by the diagonal term first and then do the iteration. So in that case, you will always end up with identity matrix as the diagonal terms, right? So in that case, Ax equal to b can be converted into x is equal to mx plus b always, right? Always you can convert Ax equal to b into this form, x equal to mx plus b. So okay, so what we do is we define the iteration xk plus 1 is equal to mxk plus b, where m is called as the iteration matrix. So for a Jacobi iteration, your iterative matrix is different. For Gauss-Seidel matrix iteration, the iterative matrix is different, right? So they are going to be different for different methods, right? So Jacobi, it will be different. Gauss-Seidel, it is going to be different. So let me show you how we obtain the Gauss-Seidel and Jacobi by using matrix form. Right, so this is a general iterative form. Generally, this is how you can generate an iterative form. Right? So for Gauss, Seidel, and Jacobi, you can specifically do it in a different way. Right? Right? To get Jacobi, we write m is equal to L plus U. Right? So and so this is going to be the Jacobi iteration. Right? So if you write element-wise notation for this matrix, right, xk plus 1 is equal to L plus U xk b plus b, you will obviously get what we have, right? Because let me show you the work, right? So you know that your A is this, right? 1 A12 over A11 up to A1n over A11, A21 over A22, 1, A2n over A11, all the way up to AN1 over ANN, AN2 over ANN, all the way up to 1. Right, so this is your A. You write this as I 1 0 0 0 1 0 all the way up to 1 0 minus L, right? So this is 0 0 all the way up to 0 minus A21 over A22 all the way up to minus AN1 over ANN. This is 0 0 minus a n2 over a n all the way up to 0 minus this is 0 minus a12 over a11 all the way up to minus a1n over 11 0 0 minus a2n over a22 all the way up to minus this is 0 0 0, right? So you can split the matrix A as I minus L minus U, right? So this is your I, this is your L, this is your U, right? So when you write A as I minus L minus U, you can see that A is I minus L minus U, and then your B is this now, right? So B1 over A11 up to Bn over Ann. This is your B, right? Because you know that I show you, you divide by diagonal first, and then only you write that in the form. So if you put this L, and if you put this U here in the matrix, right? And you know X is X1, X2 up to Xn. So, and then if you write this out element wise, you will get the element wise Jacobi iteration. So you can easily verify that this and what we learned earlier are same. Right? So that is how the Jacobi iteration is obtained by using this matrix form. Right? Gauss-Seidel iteration is slightly different. But anyway, I will show you the matrix work, but you can compute the element-wise terms separately. In Gauss-Seidel, they still put L plus U, but with L, they update, right? Xk plus 1 is updated there in with L, because in the lower triangular term, you can always update the immediately computed terms. So they update it, right? For the same L and U, if you use this L and U and put it here, right? Same L, U and B, you put it here, you will get the element-wise representation of Gauss-Seidel iteration. Right? So that is how you can use, or you can see the form change in the iteration, right, from the element-wise notation to matrix notation of the Gauss-Seidel and Jacobi iteration, right? So you can always use the matrix-wise notation, or you can always use the element-wise notation. Whichever is easier for you, you can use, right? So you can use this technique or the other element-wise technique. You can use this matrix technique or the other element-wise technique. 11 மணிக்கோ எனக்கு தெரியல. இப்போ எல்லாரும் உணர்ந்து மாறி எடுத்துக்கணும் இல்லை இல்லை சில 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 போலும் சில டைம்ல ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கு. ரைட் ரைட். சரி ஓகே ஓகே ஓகே. டிக்கர் தான் நினைக்கிறேன் இல்லையா? நான் நம்பர் இருக்கேன். அது சரி, நான் வந்துட்டு நான் அனுப்பிடுறேன். Right, okay. So you can use the Jacobi iteration in this form or the element wise form which I told you earlier, or you can use the Gauss-Seidel iteration in this form or the element wise notation which we used earlier, right? So one of those methods, both of them will give you the same answer. So whichever it is convenient for you, you can use it, right? So now you see that this Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel has a general form, right? So they all have the general form xk plus 1 is equal to mxk plus b. So now we are going to see that what are the conditions we need to prove the convergence of the results, right? So we are going to see the convergence of the results. Right, so we have to see that under what conditions the sequence generated by the iteration will converge to the solution, right? Right, so this is natural because you know that from ax equal to b, we develop the iteration, right? So now, if the sequence converges, then you know that it will automatically converge to the solution of the system. But the question is, will the sequence converge? That is what we wanted to see, right? So in order to see the convergence, right, so we will prove that as a theorem here. Okay, so we are going to prove that as a theorem here. Okay, so we write the convergence results in the following theorem, right? So if the spectral radius of the matrix is less than 1, iterative matrix is less than 1, then for any initial value x naught, the sequence determined by the iteration xk plus 1 is equal to mxk plus b will converge to the solution of the system ax equal to b, where we write a as I minus m. Right? So we have to prove these results. Right? So if the spectral radius is less than 1, right? So you already know what is the meaning of spectral radius. We studied that in the second chapter. Right? So if that is less than 1, then we can prove that the sequence will converge. Right? So we shall prove these results in the next class. Right? So and then we will see the convergence of other two methods as well. Right? So we will do that in the